to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we are joined by a crew that I can guarantee you have seen at every parade that you have ever been to. They are the Green and Gold. How are y'all?
Pretty good, Sean. Yourself?
Doing good. So tell us a little bit of history about the motorcycle organization. I mean, I know that y'all are obviously associated with the Shriners.
Yes. The motorcycles is one portion of the shrine. The shrine we have here, our current potentate or president of our organization this year, Mr. Lonnie Lusco. The shrine as a whole is separated into units and clubs. Clubs being geographic, units being activities, and the motorcycles are one of those activity units. We were founded in 1952.
And
What's the goal of like the motorcycle unit? Besides, I know we'd spoken earlier about like you do escorts and other things, but I know that you're very large into philanthropy with activities as well.
The goal, our mission as an independent unit amongst a worldwide organization here locally. When it was founded in 1952, they came up with the slogan, "We ride so children may walk." So that falls in line with the international focus of the philanthropy, the orthopedic services of our hospitals.
So how did y'all get into, I guess, the association with parading? I mean, you know, like I had said, you know, y'all ride in literally every parade to where, you know, as long as I can remember, since I was a little bitty kid, leading the parade were y'all. You know,
Throwing
and
me
it's,
Tootsie Rolls. I'm like, Tootsie Rolls?
Tootsie Rolls and
Dum Dums.
double bubble gum. Well, many of our members are active participants in the community, local business owners, a wide array of aspects of just everyday normal people doing great things in the community. So the interaction, Mardi Gras crews are also community service based and
Yeah.
philanthropic in their own nature.
yeah, you know, we've spoken with a number of crews, and you know, hearing the amount of you know, community service work that they do, you know, it leaves me speechless. You know, and then you know,
The full yearly commitment of time and energy, and a lot of personal resources go into, you know, giving back. So, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize how much, you know, Mardi Gras actually raises for the community. You know, it lifts a lot of people up, and not only in a good spiritual way, but in a financial way, and helps them in, you know, lots of activities, whether it's your work with children, or you know, some groups support the women's shelter, or some build, you know, playgrounds or whatever. You know, it's amazing what I've learned, what Mardi Gras actually does for the community.
One of our most favorite interactions throughout the Mardi Gras season is something we became involved with, I would say less than 10 years ago, is actually a parade session that occurs at the St. Michael's School for Special Children.
Oh, yeah.
And that it is really an experience that not only gives the children an opportunity to see the lights and hear the sirens of the motorcycles, but the beauty of that event is those children practice year-round so that they can put on their one little skit for all the members sitting there in the audience.
That's what I mean. They have to look forward to that. If they put through that kind of energy into it, it's got to be a wonderful sight to see.
Yeah, you mentioned personal resources.
Yeah.
Our motorcycles are all independently owned. When we buy brand new motorcycles, they come in usually black, white, or purple. And the first thing we do is take them over to a paint shop and say, okay, make this one a green and yellow.
So how did y'all come up with the that color scheme?
To my knowledge, it came about early in the years, not long after being founded, as a dare. And the validity of that, I hadn't put a thumb on it, but supposedly it was a dare, and sure enough, the guy goes into a hardware store, comes out with 2 cans of spray paint, one DuPont green and one DuPont yellow, and said, let's paint this motorcycle our fraternal colors, which are green, yellow, and red.
So I know that y'all have a real special event that's coming up soon that you'd mentioned to me before the show. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
We have our kids' Easter picnic coming up. That's next weekend.
Lonnie?
Yeah, what happens with that, that's involving all our Shriner patients and our nobles' families and stuff that come out for an Easter picnic, and they'll have an Easter egg hunt. We'll have a petting zoo. We're gonna have local law enforcement displaying vehicles. We have all kind of different games that some of our guys will put out there and man, and we have our ladies that work with us, and we make sure that the kids have a special occasion. That's coming up this weekend, in fact, over at our temple. We're looking forward to that.
Is there any way that the public can, I guess, donate to that cause or help with that cause?
Yeah, I mean, everything that's done out there is done through fundraising. We're bringing as much as we can, and whatever is not, a lot of the members end up putting up out of our own pocket. But it's all about the kids having fun. We don't mind at all. We enjoy especially our Shriner patients, is everything that we work for, seeing the smiles on their faces and enjoying themselves out there.
And if they want, they can call our Temple of Jerusalem Shrine, Temple of Destrehan, and donate if they'd like to contribute to our functions.
Yes, just make it notable specifically for that event. Our organization is both fraternal and philanthropic, so being very clear and transparent where the funds are being allocated is definitely something that our corporate executives ensure in each and every of our jurisdictions worldwide. We go through 6 years of executive leadership training in order to sit where this man is sitting at this moment. So keeping the lines completely transparent and clear. If someone would like to contribute, say, toward that, the Shriners Patients Easter Party, that is specifically for that event. We also do a Shrine Patient Christmas, where many of the children that we treat in the Southeast Louisiana region, those children's Christmas is made by what they encounter through our fraternity.
Do y'all know roughly how many miles does a motorcycle go in like a carnival season every year?
We can convert it to hours.
Okay. Yeah.
Typically, yes, I actually did the math for this season, and just prior to getting into St. Patty's parades, through the Mardi Gras season, we had just shy of 800 man hours
Wow.
in a 10-day period.
Wow.
And that
That's-
goes beyond the parade itself, though. That you also have escorts that y'all assist in.
That
Yeah.
was just parading.
Wow, that's impressive.
So how
Yeah.
many parades did you do this year? Mardi Gras. For
Mardi Gras was 12.
There was 12 parades, but then there were 4 elementary school parades. There was the event at St. Michael's School for Special Children. So just all of that combined.
See, I better get an oil change right before Mardi Gras.
We typically do.
And during.
We've got one of our major mechanics right here, a past captain of the unit, Jacob here, does a great job at keeping us running, that's for sure.
It's the heat that kills the bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, with the
heat- you
slow
sit-
roll.
We sit on 240 degrees the whole parade route. And not only you see us in the parade, you may see us on the corner doing a can shake. Please don't ignore us, because that helps our temple out. Not only we
Actually, I
help the
haven't seen
children.
any
we
in a
do the-
while. I used to see them at the corner of Causeway quite a bit. I haven't
Well,
seen any in
they
quite
stopped a
long
lot
time.
of major corners.
Okay.
So we gotta go in back corners, we do Hickory, Dickory, and Dock a lot, and Harahan, and we do Airline and, Ormond Boulevard, and, a few other places, and I think we're gonna try to start talking to some stores like Sam's and everything to set up out front.
As society comes back into a little more open interaction due to the pandemic situation that everyone has encountered, we're looking forward to getting back out, and from a fraternal standpoint, it's our awareness in this area. We're in the process of organizing outreach clinics or awareness clinics throughout the Southeast Louisiana region. That may have been that event that you
Okay.
may had mentioned,
Yeah.
Sean. It's the concept, a notion, illustrious Sir Lusco is going to be reinitiating and getting the focus back into the community through our fraternal aspects, which is raising awareness of our hospitals. The last time we had outpatient awareness clinics was in 2005, was just prior to Katrina. Literally, the day before was our last of 6 clinics that were held that year, and 26 children from those 6 clinics received services from our hospital system.
And what's nice about that, it's such a wide variety of orthopedic conditions, clubfoot, hip disorders, hand issues, extremities, and then we also work in the burn areas too. And they take care of not just the patient, they also take care of the family, getting them to and from the hospital. I was so impressed when we toured some of these hospitals. They even have groups that are set up in the case of a burn victim that's disfigured. They'll actually go to the school and start working with the kids in the classroom on how to accept that patient when they come back. I mean, where else do you get that kind of treatment? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Even just from the I would say the little bit of knowledge I knew of the Shriners hospitals from the different infomercials, that have aired throughout the years. I mean,
Alec,
little
little Alec.
But when you see,
Great little fella.
these success stories, shall we call them, it really grabs at your heartstrings, and it's incredible to see the work that y'all do with the children.
Building them back to as close to normal as society may refer to people physically. The mental and the emotional stress that comes with any of our situations, especially with children, because children are who they are. And hey, we've all gone through our difficulties in life as children, either maybe being bullied or being teased or what have you, like Lonnie had mentioned. Going back into those school systems and speaking with the children and making them aware that these children are coming back and they're not quite the same. They went through struggles that you hopefully, will never have to go through.
Yeah, and hopefully making it to where those kids will make them feel as welcome as they did before, whatever situations happened that caused their ailments, whether it was a disease or whether it was an accident or what have you.
Burn. Yes.
And I'll tell you something that's important too. A lot of these families that go to the hospitals and stuff, and after the hospital visits and the ailments are taken care of, and these kids are now leading productive lives, Shriners, motorcycles, buggies, clowns, all of us, we like to stay in touch with our kids too, our Shriner patients, and that's the example of the Easter party that's coming up. A lot of these kids have already had treatment, some are continuing treatment, some are complete, but we don't let them go at that point. We continue every event. We have Christmas patient parties, we have Easter patient parties, we have our Halloween patient parties. We like to keep contact with our families and our patients. And I just think that's important to get out there.
A little story I'd like to share. The first year I became a Shriner, I went to my very first Christmas party, and you go and get in line and you take a patient, you walk them through the winter wonderland, all these trees, and they get to pick gifts out. I literally, after I was done, broke down and cried for the little girl that I was carrying. It really touches.
All that's done through our donations and our help from the public and stuff. Yeah. I actually have some phone numbers if you don't mind at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, please.
We do work off a lot of donations. We work real hard at that. And even though our temple sustained some damage, we're working on getting that temple back in shape. Our phone lines are still up and running. They may go to a voicemail, and we have a staff that comes on and answers these messages and stuff. But if there's anything that someone's interested, as in donations, or they're interested in becoming a Shriner, or any
Child that needs help.
any child that might need help, transportation to the Shriners Hospital, I'd just like to give you a number, and in fact, we'll give you two numbers. But the one that connects to our temple is, I'm showing 985-725-1716. And if anyone has questions as far as any ailments that may be assisted by the Shriner Hospitals, there's an 800 number, 1-800-237-5055. I just want to make sure we get that out to everybody. Yeah, we're always looking to help a child. We're always looking at increasing our patient base.
So you had mentioned becoming a member. How do you become a member of the Shriners?
In order to become a member of the Shrine, a prerequisite condition is that you are in fact a current active Freemason.
Okay.
Somewhere, as I said, we are worldwide.
Right.
We have jurisdictions in Germany, Belize, Central South America, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, Canada, and are spreading. Past Imperial Sir Nick Thomas began implementing the focus on our international membership expansion back in 2010, and it's significantly allowed us as a philanthropy to extend our services to help children worldwide. So as I said, you first have to be a Freemason in order to become a Shriner. Seek out a local Freemason lodge, like we're sitting in here. This is Louisiana Lodge 102 in Harahan, Louisiana. There are lodges throughout the countries and throughout our areas of activity. A lot of people have conceptions or misinformation about Freemasonry and what it is and what it actually pertains to. Seek the light and you shall find it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you happen to see a vehicle that says to be one, ask one, that is a Mason. Flag him down and he'd be glad to help you in the right direction to seek more light.
Yes. So you first have to be a Freemason, and then once you become a third degree Mason,
Okay.
there are 3 degrees in the fundamental learnings or teachings of Freemasonry, first, second, and third. And we've all heard the saying, "Oh, she's giving him the 3rd degree."
Yeah. That's-
Okay, well, origins of some of these things are real. So become a Freemason, a master Freemason, and then you have the opportunity to seek becoming an active member and participant within the shrine. And it's not just one faceted, it's multifaceted, like we said, it's fraternity and philanthropy.
Right.
Our logo on our trailer is our motorcycle escort unit logo, and above the top it says fraternity, family, philanthropy. So
So what's the goal as far as riding in parades? Is it exposure?
Recognition.
Okay.
Recognition, let people know that we're not dead, we still alive, we
Oh, yeah.
still exist. Since we don't have the Shrine Circus no more, everybody
Oh,
knew
that's
about the
right.
Shrine Circus.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And not only that we do parades, we do other activities all year long. As a unit, I think we had 46 bikes we took on up to Angola prison before the pandemic. And then we rode to the Tabasco plant, Avery Island. We do all kind of stuff all year long that is family orientated, so we can take our wife and kids, and we do a lot of it on motorcycles.
Okay. So is there a further requirement, I guess, to become a part of the motorcycle unit? You know, obviously you have to have a motorcycle and, you know, be competent in riding per se, but is there, like, I don't know, due to lack of better words, like a motorcycle test that you request, you know, I mean, just to make sure that,
you have to be legally endorsed in order to functionally operate a motorcycle in the state that you reside in.
okay,
So a motorcycle endorsement, which is something we check on an annual basis.
These guys actually do a lot of practice work. They don't just go out and show up in a parade.
right.
But a lot of people don't realize that. They actually have to carry a certain amount of liability insurance, which comes out of their pocket. It's not paid by any of the donations that are taken in. All that maintenance and all the upkeep on them bikes, that's all done by the riders. But there's a lot of time and practice put aside to make sure that they have a safe ride. These guys are really good at what they do. They're very impressive.
Yeah.
Within the whole international organization, there's actually competition groups where they go out and do different competitions and stuff. So these guys take a lot of pride. And I got to tell you something, and this is just something funny I caught from the beginning of our interview. These are the green and yellows. Like, yeah, not the green and golds.
Yeah,
All right, that's all right, it's all right. Just like, I said, wait a minute, is that the black and yellow Saints or is that the black and gold Saints? And I was like, and it's just funny because when you're a part of that group for such a long time, you'll pick up on something like that really quick. And I was just waiting for somebody to say something. Boy, they were very respectful, and I know you didn't mean that. But yeah, the green and yellow it's kind of specific to our region because you go outside of our areas. We've traveled up north. We're heading to Minnesota in July.
They have an imperial session every year, and last year I took the unit to Houston. We had 12 bikes in that parade, and people were overwhelmed seeing motorcycles instead of just clowns in a parade.
And not just that. There's other there's other Shriner groups out there that have different colors to their bikes. But the green and yellows, you'll be surprised the recognition that they'll get going across this country. I've been as far as Spokane, Washington with the green and yellow. And in the middle of all the beautiful bikes, we've been to some bike shows and thousands and thousands of bikes. That green and yellow draws attention like you wouldn't believe.
So
and they want to know about it.
So is green and yellow, I would say, almost specific to the
Jerusalem.
It's more the Jerusalem area, right?
Okay.
There's 5 temples in Louisiana. You have Shreveport, Monroe, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, and Jerusalem. That's your 5 temples. And the green and yellow is pretty much specific to our Jerusalem area.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when you go out of town and that green and yellow, it really draws some attention and it sparks that conversation. Next thing you know, you have somebody interested in being a Mason, a Shriner. You have someone interested in donating for the children's hospitals. So it works well.
Those conversations may start up as easy as my gosh, I didn't know John Deere made a motorcycle.
We've heard that many times.
You're a big Green Bay Packers fan.
Yo, you
That's
must
right.
love
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but Dana, Tom, I ride my bike a lot. I'm not a fair rider. I ride it a lot. And Dana, Tom, I don't pull out on the highway and people lock up their brakes to let me in and give me a thumbs up because I'm on a green and yellow. They actually know what we stand for.
Yeah, and you know, there's been a couple of times where, you know, you'd mentioned, you know, when you go out of town or, you know, you're traveling and you see, and people recognize the, you know, the green and yellow, and you know they'll make comment of it, and you know, give their praise or what have you. You know, there's been a couple of times where I've run into a green and yellow when, you know, I was completely in like Monroe or, you know, like you said, Shreveport, or you know, a different part of the state, or even a different state, and you happen to see one where, you know, like you said, it's you know, a Shriner who's traveling to whether it be a convention or, you know, some sort of a function for the Shriners, and you know, I'll see the, you know, the bike, and I'll make a comment and say, hey, you know, thank you for everything that you do, because I know, you know, that.
And that is our gratitude. That is what keeps us doing what we do and why we do it.
And if you see a rider on a green and yellow, 9.9% of the time he is a Shriner. Like my youngest son does ride my bike occasionally, but he has his own bike. He is not a Mason yet. He just turned 18. And when we have nobles that pass on through the desert and pass away, their family keeps the bikes in the unit. We have bikes as old as 1980 riding in the parades.
Wow.
And there's only 3 of them that are newest, and I have one of the newest ones. It's a 2012. And there's 2 other ones, 2012, so they vary in age. So it's a lot of upkeep to keep these old bikes going in the parades.
Our eldest is an intricate part of our patients' Christmas event that we host every year. And Robbie's trike is what, a 67?
No, that's a 72
A 72.
flathead
A 1972 flathead
service
trike.
cart.
Yeah, well, it was a service cart. It was actually a police motorcycle through the NOPD that had provided its service with the NOPD, and then was bought by a Shriner, painted green and yellow.
So I mentioned I'd actually driven one, but I guess I was out of line. So hope y'all don't lock me up in the Mason dungeon. Speaking of misinformation,
I have to
you know,
give you an application to make it right.
like I had painted one for a guy. It was I used to paint cars, and he showed up. He's like, "Oh, I'm riding the parade tomorrow," or I say parade. It might have been a funeral. I forget. So I hurried up and painted it for him. But to do it, I had to ride it. So, you know, I was trying to do some community service. So, like I say,
There
don't
you
lock
go.
me up in the Mason
Good
dungeon.
job. Appreciate your work.
Is there a website where people can go to learn more about the?
Yes, we are called the Green and Yellow Jerusalem Motorcycles. We have a Facebook page.
Okay.
Lonnie, do you have, you can go to beashrinernow.com or .org. You can
Go to Jerusalem
hashtag Shriners International. That'll bring you over to the fraternity portions of it. And everything is really linked very well once you get inside that electronic world, where it's open. The transparency has made leaps and bounds since I've been involved, which is right at 22, 23 years now. So it's it's there. If you're seeking information, if you're seeking knowledge about who we are, and it's definitely there.
So, I really appreciate y'all allowing us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about the organization. And I can guarantee you, every year, every parade, Kirk and I go to hundreds of parades a year, and one of the happiest moments is when we see y'all in the front, because we know that the parade is coming.
The wait
You
is
know,
over.
the wait is over.
Well,
The parade is
give me a
here. The
Tootsie
parade-
Roll. I'm
yeah.
all excited.
Yeah. So thank y'all so much.
Thanks for the hospitality. Of this
Yeah, thank you for the
beautiful
hospitality.
If I may, just a little bit
Sure.
about these here.
Uh-huh.
They call them fun. Most people call them, the guys driving the little vehicles and wearing the funny red hats. Why these hats are? They were part of the regalia of the founding fathers. The fez is red. It represents the bloodshed children in our hospitals. The scimitar sword is the working tool of our surgeons. The tiger's claws is pointed downward and nearly touching to keep us reminded that regardless of where we go, we're always not far from one another and able to reach out, both fraternity and philanthropy. The star in the middle, like the jewels upon the fez, is to remind us of the thousands of, millions. We're approaching 2 million children of service in our hospital system.
Wow.
And the Sphinx head, which is embellished between the two tiger's claws, is the representation of members of the die band, the board, both regionally as well as internationally, that we have withstood the sands of time as an organization, because Shriners are the governing body of both the fraternity and the philanthropy.
I'll never look at that the same again.
Yeah.
I really won't.
The most important is the black tassel from the tops of our heads to our hearts, is to remind us that regardless of how much work we do, there are still some children that succumb to the black camel and cross the desert sands of life.
Wow. I didn't realize that there was so much story with the fez. That.
A lot more than a little red hat.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, again, I really want to thank y'all so much for allowing us to come and hear y'all's story. I look forward to y'all every year. Wish y'all nothing but success. And listeners out there, if you have an opportunity, please check them out online. Give them a call. See if there's ways that you can help, that you can donate. The work that they do is tremendous throughout the world. Not just in our community, but throughout the world. So thank y'all again for y'all's work and service. Signing out. We will see you on the route.
See the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.